Hi guys, welcome to Sylvia Barrock with sylviabarrock.com. In today's video, I want to go with you through some of the highlights from the NIO day and of course share with you my personal opinion about the NIO stock prediction for 2021. Stay tuned. Before I start guys, make sure you subscribe to my Discord channel. It is free and it is for swing traders and investors. We share there very valuable ideas every day and it is great community to connect with new traders and build your own network trading community. The star of the show yesterday was the ET7 sedan NIO. It has some impressive features such as soft closing doors, air filtration and acoustic glass for quiet ride. These are mainly the aesthetic considerations. NIO shared with us also some more features and some more news. The car also boasts about up to 625 miles of range. This is the most advanced battery options for now. The ET7 will cost about 84 and it is a luxury sedan. NIO also unveiled a higher capacity battery, new swapping stations with more daily capacity, and so on. One of the key features is also the self-driving technology. New autonomous driving solutions include ultra-high resolution optical cameras and radar as well as LiDAR, short for laser-based radar sensors. So those are some improvements on the NIO car and I expect that this might drive the stock up higher. But before we go into the chart, let me share with you some other key highlights from the NIO day. In my personal opinion, one of the key highlights is that NIO plans its self-driving solution as a subscription. So this is something new here guys, and Tesla doesn't have it. I haven't seen any other automaker or EV automaker who is offering this kind of service. Also, not to forget the platform Atom, which is powered by NVIDIA. About 6% of NVIDIA sales are generated in the outer space according to its fiscal year 2020. With all those facts and features, I do expect that NIO is going to gap up tomorrow and we are going to see a continuation of the uptrend. Let's take a look at the chart and see what might happen in this year. So this here is basically the NIO yearly chart, and as you can see, it went from around $3, this was this year around May, to 59.31. So this is an incredible move, huge move, and some of my subscribers already know that I started buying this stock around $13 or $14 right here. It broke out, I sold some, then it pulled back again, and we see this steady breakout of this stock, and we see those huge moves to the upside, tiny pullbacks, even in some corrective markets which we saw. NIO was able to hold the gains, had very tiny pullbacks all the time. And of course guys, I want to mention that NIO is a Chinese stock, and some of you maybe already know that I'm a little bit conservative with Chinese stocks because I just don't know how the financials of the company are. Are they fake? Is there something what they might hide? So I personally prefer to stay a little bit cautious and know my risk when it comes to Chinese company. As I mentioned in my video with Baba, we have seen some huge gap downs based on fake numbers, based on some government issues and stuff like that. So always when it comes to Chinese stocks, be careful, know your risk, but also if you want to take advantage of those stocks, you should be part of it. The only thing here to know is that you should definitely try to use the right product. So I personally trade options with NIO because I know my risk and I know that if the stock gets down, I would only lose the premium which I am invested in that. Now, as we can see here recently, the chart pulled back a little bit and built here support around the 37.80 area, and it was able to hold that support. It tried to break out, pull back again into that 50 EMA, which I'm also using as a support area, and broke out again. And Friday was the last breakout day. It was 59.31, new all-time high here. So I do expect personally that NIO might go to 100 this year. And based on the current news, current features, and news what are coming up with the new sedan, with those new technologies which they are using, new batteries, especially with this subscription service. I do believe that this is going to go higher, and also the Chinese company loves NIO and wants to support this company compared to something like Alibaba, where they're just fighting against Jack Ma, and we saw that gap down. If you are not already invested in that stock, guys, make sure you wait for a pullback. If we see on Monday some kind of a gap up based on the NIO day and on the recent news, it is important not to get into that stock and start chasing there. It is just too late and you won't have a very good risk reward here. So it is important to wait a little bit, wait for a pullback into some support areas or into some EMA areas, and after that you might see the stock starts to consolidate a little bit and get into that stock. Never be too early or too late with the stock. So if you're too early, this basically means that you are trying to catch the falling knife and you don't know if the stock will hold the support. If you're too late, this basically means you're chasing the stock and the stock made already a huge move and you don't want to be into that position where you just pay too much for the stock and as soon as it pulls back, you find yourself in a losing position. Even though the stock has some growth potential, I want to check out the fundamentals and show you some facts just to be aware of what is the current financial situation of the company. So for that, I always go to yahoofinance.com and I click here on the financials. After that, I am able to see the income statement, and as we can see here, NIO is still in a losing position. So they are still losing money, and this is something you should be aware of, especially if you're investing huge amount of money into that company. Of course, it is not uncommon that we see not good profitability, especially with growth companies. It was the same with Tesla, and at some point they catched up and started to explode, especially the stock price. I only want you to be aware of that and make your own decision. How much do you want to be invested in that company? How many shares or what kind of products do you want to use? I also like checking here chartmill.com, and it shows us a little bit more information. For example, we see here the fundamental rating. We see here the profitability of the company, which is, like I already mentioned, not good. As you can see here, NIO has negative profitability, has profit margin of minus 53.55, and this is below the industry's average. As we can see here also, the price earnings ratio is negative, and in the last year, negative earnings were reported. Now, as we scroll a little bit down, we see here the growth rating, and now everything looks a little bit better. Like I mentioned, only because the company is not making money doesn't mean that it won't go up. It just means that I want you to be aware of that and be aware how much money do you want to invest in the company. So the growth rating here is pretty nice. The earnings per share has grown by an impressive 84.43% over the past year. So this is a very impressive percentage. And based on the estimates for the next 2 years, NIO will show very strong growth in earnings per share, and this might grow by 42% on average per year. Also, looking at the last year, NIO shows a very strong growth in revenue, and the revenue has grown by 58%. This is only the past year. If we look at the past 2 or 3 years, when comparing the growth rate of the last years to the growth rate of the upcoming 2 years, we see that the growth is decreasing. So be aware of those facts, guys, before you start investing. And like I already mentioned, I personally use options for NIO. I'm invested in the company with options, and I want to give it a chance until next year and see where the stock might end. Based on the current features, based on the subscription, I do think we're going to see much higher prices than now, and that's why I will continue to be bullish on that stock, but I use options to protect my risk. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day. Bye bye.